What's up guys, Josh here for Tech, and as promised from our previous video on the Vivo X50 Pro's best camera features, we're now going to be taking a better look at this device's insane video capabilities, specifically the gimbal camera system. Now this is one of, if not the main highlights of the X50 Pro. A lot of other smartphone brands do have their own video stabilization capabilities, however this is achieved via software or just your standard optical image stabilization. The X50 Pro's gimbal is literally what it sounds like. It utilizes an actual gimbal system, specifically a cleverly designed double ball suspension mount. Since this is a physical system that stabilizes movement, this is many times better than OIS and even more so than EIS or electronic image stabilization. The X50 Pro's camera app includes an ultra-stable mode in the video panel, but even without it turned on, again, we have a gimbal here. Videos from the X50 Pro are naturally stabilized thanks to the gimbal mechanism. Now that's enough explaining how it works, let's go check this camera out in action. First up, let's do a walking test. Since a lot of people do this sort of thing when going around or vlogging, this is a great starting point. In this video, I'm walking around the rooftop of my condo building pretty abruptly, and as you can see, it looks great. Normally, without all this stabilization, it would look pretty shaky, right? But as I go around, there's almost no shake. Next up, I tried jogging around the same place, and as you can see, there's a little bit more shake, but still, it's super minimal, especially for a phone. The only shake you're really getting over here is when you go up and down too abruptly, like when you do when you're jogging around. But in this shot, take note that I was extra aggressive with my movements, and I was even jumping. And if I didn't tell you that, you probably wouldn't know just because of how stable the video is. Now I'm testing if the X50 Pro's video is more stable when you hold the phone in a more natural position in the hand, or what's commonly known as portrait orientation. As you can probably notice, it's a little bit more stable than the last time since it's more secure. When I start running, we do get those little micro shakes again, but the phone still does such a great job of stabilizing. And again guys, consider that I was moving very abruptly during these tests. Moving on to the next test, I decided to take out my bike for a spin. And before anything else, safety first please guys, don't try this at home. I only attempted this because the roads were empty at the time. As you can see from the video, it's very smooth. Since the bike has pretty much only one axis of movement, assuming that the road isn't bumpy, this is a situation where the X50 Pro's gimbal really shines. Just look at how stable that is. Taking this concept, a more practical scenario would probably be riding a skateboard while filming. This way, it's a little bit safer to have at least one hand holding up the phone. Now here's the same test with the bicycle, but now I'm shooting in portrait orientation, and I think it's a little bit smoother again this time. I'm not saying that portrait orientation is better than landscape, but it's more that it's a matter of how secure the phone is in your grip or wherever you may mount it. If there's less bumps to stabilize, then the camera can do its job better. And now for the final test. As I said earlier, the bike test was effective because we were on smooth roads, therefore the only axis of movement was forward. So we thought of a perfect situation. Now this shot was taken in Joey's car while he was driving on bumpy roads, while his suspension was in bad shape. So needless to say, in person, this would have probably been a shaky situation. But as you can see, the X50 Pro's gimbal handled this situation pretty well. Notice how the dashboard is jumping up and down while the objects outside the car remain stable. This simply means that the gimbal is able to avoid all the actual shake from the car. And if that's not good, then I don't know what is. Alright guys, so that about wraps it up for this showcase of the Vivo X50 Pro's gimbal camera system. We really enjoyed testing this out and checking out the camera's capabilities, but this has got to be our favorite feature of them all, which I think is pretty evident since we did dedicate an entire video just to check this out. And before we end this video, let me pass down a question to you guys. What do you guys think of the Vivo X50 Pro's gimbal camera? Let us know in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and be sure to visit ukitech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Josh, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.